Moving on to lesson 2, here we will talk about the 4 aspects of a noun and then we will focus on the case of a noun. We learn that a noun can either be in rafa, nasab or jar. One aspect of a noun is whether it is a common noun or a proper noun. In Arabic, a common noun is called nakra and proper noun is called marfa. If we say kitabun, this is a book, this is a common noun. Whereas if we say al-kitabu, this is a proper noun. Here we are referring to a specific book. The next aspect is number. As with other languages, we have singular, which would be one book, or plural, but in Arabic we also have a dual. There is a special term for 2 books or 2 of anything, and plural in Arabic refers to 3 or more. Then we have gender. Everything in Arabic or every noun in Arabic is either masculine or feminine. And then we have the case of a noun. We need to know whether a noun is in rafa, nasab or jar. If a noun is being used as a subject, then we say it is rafa. If a noun is being used as an object, then we say that it is nasab. And if a noun is the possessor of something, then we say that the noun is jar. Let's take a simple example to understand rafa, nasab, jar. Let's say that we have this little segment from the Quran, which is qatala Dawudu Jaluta. Now notice, this means that Dawood killed Jalut. Dawood is the subject because Dawood is doing the killing, and Jalut is the object because Jalut is the one who was killed. In English, we would say Dawood killed Jalut. In English, the subject comes first in the simple sentence and the object comes after the verb. And the way we know whether something is a subject or an object in English is based on where the noun is placed. In Arabic, the subject or the object is based on whether the noun is in rafa or in nasab. The indicator of a rafa is this dhamma, and sometimes, as we'll see later, we might have a double dhamma or un. And the indicator of an object here is the fatha. This fatha means that Jalut is in nasab form, and here we just have a fatha. We'll see other cases where we have a double fatha, so this would be the unsound. The key takeaway is that in Arabic, we know whether a noun is a subject or an object or a possessor depending on whether it is in rafa, nasab or jar, and we'll need to learn how to tell whether a particular noun is rafa, nasab or jar. So let's understand this in more detail. About 85% of the nouns in Arabic will take a different form in the 3 different cases. So with rafa, nasab and jar, if we take a name like Muhammad, in rafa form we will have Muhammadun, in nasab we have Muhammadan, and in jar we have Muhammadin. Notice that with the word Muhammad or the name Muhammad, the form is different in rafa, nasab, jar. Similarly, shay'un, in rafa it is shay'un, double dhamma. In nasab we have shay'an, and in jar we have shay'in. For a garden or jannatun, again different in rafa, nasab, jar. Jannatun in rafa, jannatan in nasab, and jannatin in jar. Bintun means a girl. So we have bintun in rafa, bintan in nasab, and bintin in jar. And su'un means something bad. Rafa is su'un, nasab is su'an, and jar is su'in. Here I want to just point out a few more things. Notice that when we have the nasab form, we have this double fatha, then the double fatha needs to sit on something. And generally, a double fatha will need an alif. So whenever we have something in nasab form, we will have this alif. But if there is this ta marbuta at the end, a ta marbuta is this round ta or a knotted ta, then we don't need the alif. A double fatha will just sit on a tha marbuta. You can think of the double fatha as being heavy. It needs either an alif or a ta marbuta to sit on, whereas the double dhamma or double kasra don't need anything extra to sit on. Based on what I've just told you, I want you to indicate which of these words are in rafa, which are in nasab, and which are in jar. Pause the video and do this. So Rasulan, this is a double fatha, so this is nasab. Shay'in, this would be in jar. Ayatan, this is nasab. Jannatan, this is nasab. Mahmudun, we have double dhamma, so this is in rafa. Shay'an would be nasab. Bintan, again double fatha, so this is nasab. Adhabin, this would be in jar. Hamidan, nasab. Bintin, jar. Shahwatun, this means desires, this is in rafa. Rijzun, this is also rafa. Sama'an, so this is nasab. Sibghatun, this is rafa. Khizyun is rafa. And su'in is jar. The next point is that some nouns look the same in nasab and jar. For example, Ibrahimu. In the rafa form, we have this dhamma at the end. And notice here we just have a dhamma. We don't have the double dhamma. So we don't have the tanween. But in nasab and jar, we have Ibrahima and Ibrahima. So here, both the nasab and jar just have a fatha. So there is no difference between nasab and jar. And also we only have a fatha. We don't have a double fatha. Similarly, Makkatu, so with the rafa form, we have this dhamma, whereas in nasab and jar, we only have the fatha. The same holds true with Maryam. We have Maryamu, and then Maryama in nasab, and Maryama in jar. Isra'ilu, and then Isra'ila and Isra'ila. Ahmaru. Ahmaru is the rafa form. Ahmara is nasab, and Ahmara is jar. And Aswadu is in the rafa form, Aswada and Aswada in nasab and jar. I also want you to pause here and learn all these meanings. Israel is the title of Hazrat Yaqub, and the rest are fairly self-evident. These types of nouns officially are called ghair munsarif and denoted by this ghain. But if you want to remember this through an example, we can also call these the Maryam words, because Maryam is a classic example of nouns where the nasab and jar look the same. Some nouns look the same in rafa, nasab and jar. These are called mabni, and later on they'll be denoted by the symbol mim. Words like hadha, alladhi, tilka, and then names like Isa and Husna, these will have the same form in rafa, nasab, jar. So hadha will be the same in rafa, nasab, jar. The same holds true for all these other words. And just like earlier we talked about the Maryam words, where rafa gets a dhamma and then nasab and jar have the fatha, we can call this category the Isa words. And we can say that Isa words look the same in rafa, nasab and jar. So now let's do a simple exercise. I've given you the rafa form and you need to come up with the nasab and jar. Imranu has this ghain. This means that it is ghair munsarif, or these are the Maryam words. And then we have allati, which is an Isa word. So this would be the same in all three forms. Now I want you to pause the video and come up with nasab and jar for each of these words. So hopefully this is what you came up with. And there are some things I want to point out. Notice that thawabun, the nasab is thawaban, and here we have the alif because the double fatha needs something to sit on. With sayyi'atun, the nasab is sayyi'atan, and here a double fatha can sit on a ta marbuta, so this is okay. And then allati is an isa word. This will look the same in all three forms. So that is it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we will talk about gender.